Disney finally did it. Disneyland finally removed it.
Your attention, please.
What is shaking, guys? Welcome back. As most of you already know, the second half of winter after the holidays is refurbishment season for Disneyland. So that means a lot of construction. So before we dive into all of this construction, like always guys, be sure to follow us on Instagram at Disneydna. We post pictures every single day of Disneyland, Disney World, and all things Disney. So to kick things off, the first notable refurb is Sleeping Beauty's castle's roof. Now, the castle is getting a brand new roof, so the castle is now closed. When they installed the 60th anniversary diamonds, they were beautiful, but they ended up damaging the roof beyond minor repairs. So they are getting a brand new roof, and this is supposed to run all the way through spring up until summer. So you could probably look to May as when the castle will reopen. The next most notable construction is on the Mark Twain and sailing ship Columbia River dock. That is under scrim, completely under scrim. Not much detail has been released on to what they are doing. It's probably just some repainting, but the whole idea of widening paths kind of makes me think about this one. As we have discussed in past videos, and I have talked about this a lot over the past few weeks, Disneyland is getting ready for the opening of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Well, if you guys look back on a recent video that I posted, there's a snack stand right next to the dock that is now getting worked on that I have outlined them possibly removing to widen the path. You can get rid of all of this to create more space because this is going to be a major walkway to Star Wars Land. They could possibly be cutting out a chunk of the riverboat docking station to also widen the path. Now this is just speculation, just me thinking, and nothing's confirmed whatsoever. But as we all know, rumors are gold. Rumors are always good. I could possibly see them cutting a chunk out of the riverboat docking station, but let's just hope they're repainting. Now there's one other notable thing, one more notable refurbishment that I want to get to, but I want to save that to the end because this is a topic that I've talked about a lot over the past, well, since this channel has been created. But I want to save that. So really quickly, jumping over to Adventureland. This one isn't under construction yet, or under refurbishment, however you want to say it. So this one is just, it's going to happen here soon. And that is the bridge that leads you from the hub into Adventureland. Now we all know that this can kind of become a bottleneck, but it's mostly because of this little wall. This is going to go away. They are going to remodel this sign and this little area to get rid of this little wall so it doesn't create this funky split in the crowd, and it will widen things a little bit. And like I've said, widening is good right now, especially with the crowds that are anticipated this summer. So now moving on to, in my opinion, the most notable refurb. Like I said, the castle's probably the most notable, the most standout-ish, because that one's in your line of sight from Main Street, so you're gonna notice it. But once you get into the hub, this one takes the cake. The Astro Orbitor is gone. It has completely disappeared. Now just about a week ago, not even a week ago, I found a picture that the planets were gone. So it made me think, well, maybe they're just repainting them. They're taking them apart and repainting them. Because we all know this ride is kind of a mobile ride compared to a lot of the others. It's not as like concrete, set in stone, stuck there. Those kind of rocket jet kind of rides, Dumbo, they're all in parts that just kind of come apart. So I'm thinking, oh, maybe they're just repainting the planets. Yeah, I was wrong. Images started surfacing yesterday about the Astro Orbiter being gone. It is completely taken apart and disappeared. Now, I've talked about this a ton, and especially when it comes to widening things and bottlenecks, Tomorrowland is the worst. And the rumor always was the French fry rocks were going to disappear. The rocks out in front of Tomorrowland were going to disappear, so you didn't have the funneling systems. It was just going to be a wide open, well, a little more wide open space up to the Astro Orbiter. I never thought the Astro Orbiter would actually disappear. But what does this mean? So the Astro Orbiter disappearing really only leads to one of three different scenarios. And that is, one, they're just taking it apart, gonna clean it up, and then gonna put it back together, which is probably the most likely scenario. Number two is they've taken it apart and it's gone. That's it. They're just gonna get rid of the attraction, which will definitely open up Tomorrowland. But that's such an iconic ride. I know it's changed over the years. It doesn't look anything like what it used to. But it could just be going away. Now the third is one that I've always hoped for. And I think a lot of people have always thought would kind of happen. And that is that they are going to move it to on top of Space Mountain. I thought maybe you could put it on top of the Space Mountain queue, where the helipad is, if there is no real purpose for the helipad. Now there's a couple clues that we can look at that this might be possible. Well, really only one that kind of lends this to be true. And that is they moved the queue for Space Mountain indoors. They moved the queue inside. So you don't have the big wrapping queue on top of the helicopter platform above Space Mountain. So they could definitely be moving the Astro Orbiter up there. But I really think that's a stretch too. Now, like always, Disney doesn't release a lot of information or details about refurbishments. So this one's gonna take some digging and some waiting to see what's gonna happen. But like I mentioned, I think they're just taking it apart, and from what I've heard from different people, they're just going to take the Astro Orbiter apart, which they've already done, put it back together when it's all clean, and really nothing's changed. But now we might see the queue line change a little bit, because it does kind of stick out and create a longer little triangle that creates some bottlenecks. But until we see them fully rip out that section, Astro Orbiter's probably coming back, so I think I can pump my brakes on my dream of the Astro Orbiter moving on top of Space Mountain. So that's about it for refurbishments in Disneyland, guys. I know it's not a whole lot going on, but those couple that are going on are pretty big. Now, Splash Mountain's always closed this time of year for refurbishment. Haunted Mansion is now back to normal. It's a Small World is wrapping their refurbishment back to normal. In a couple weeks here, they're going to be reopened. So overall, there's really not a whole lot going on, just a few major construction updates. So as always, guys, if you guys haven't done so already, give this video a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when other videos like this or other park adventure videos are uploaded. And as always, if you guys are at any of the parks, tell Mickey and Minnie I say hi and happy birthday. And I will see you all a little later.